Good afternoon. My name is Beth Gonzalez, and I am one of the community relations representatives with Pace Suburban Bus. Joining me today is Chris Rose, another community relations representative. Today we are going to go over Pace's carpool and vanpool programs, which are two commute options available for employees commuting to and from work. Pace has a family of services. Included in this are our fixed bus routes, such as the blue bus you see in this picture. We also have an on-demand service, which is part of the fixed bus route system. Pace operates the ADA paratransit service for the region, which is public transit for people with disabilities. And we have a vanpool program that I will go over in just a couple of minutes. Pace's service area includes 6 counties in northeastern Illinois. Those counties include Lake County, McHenry County, Kane County, DuPage County, Cook County, and Will County. We have 210 fixed bus routes serving 284 communities. Our total service area is 3,677 square miles, which equates to the size of Connecticut or 5 times the size of the city of Chicago. So we have a very large service area. We also operate one of the largest bus services in North America. The first program that I'm going to go over with you today is going to be Pace's carpool program. From polls that we've done of employees, we found that of those polled, the majority of them are driving themselves to work. Carpooling is a great way for someone that is driving themselves to work to share the ride with a fellow employee and a neighbor, somebody that needs a ride, doesn't have transportation, and needs that in order to maintain their employment. That person can share the commute costs, which saves the driver money. Both parties benefit from carpooling. It's a win-win situation. Carpools are groups of 2 or more people using their own cars to commute to work. Pace does not provide the equipment for the program, but we do have a free resource available for people to connect with others. PaceVanpool.com has a rideshare feature that is confidential and free to use. After accessing the link, PaceRideshare.com, you can create an account. No one will see your information, it's confidential, and you will not receive any spam mail. After answering some questions such as where do you live, where do you work, and what is your work schedule, you will have the opportunity to look for matches. The site will look for other people who match your commute, so if you work on the first shift, it's not going to match you with third shift employees. The rideshare link may be used for carpooling or vanpool purposes. Pace's vanpool program has been around for over 25 years, and it's the second largest publicly funded vanpool program in the country. Pace Vanpool is a form of non-traditional public transportation. The first option is going to be the Metro Feeder Vanpool that completes the last mile connection between a metro station and the place of employment. This is a very specific program that operates in similar ways to the traditional vanpool, but I'm not going to go into detail on it today. You can find the detailed information on this program at pacevanpool.com. The traditional vanpool connects employees from their home community to their place of employment. A vanpool, it's almost like a carpool on steroids. It's where a group of 4 or more people can commute to work together, driving a Pace van instead of their own vehicles. The primary driver, who's one of the members, keeps the van and takes it home with them every day. If there are 5 or more people in the vehicle, the primary driver does not pay a monthly fare. As well, the driver receives 300 miles a month for personal use. If they don't use all of the miles in the month, then they can be rolled over into a mileage bank to be used at a future time. Up to 500 miles can be stored into the mileage bank for later use, so if the driver wants to take a weekend trip, they could. If they are leaving the region with the van, we do ask that they let their vanpool rep know ahead of time though. The people in the van get a monthly bill from Pace, similar to if they had a monthly bus pass or a train pass. It's the same concept, it's just a monthly vanpool pass. They pay Pace directly, so no one in the van is responsible for anybody but themselves. Each van requires at least 1 backup driver, but there can be up to 4. And each backup driver receives $10 off of their monthly fare. The program also includes an emergency ride home, which has a budget of $125 per person per year. This does not include overtime, but if your kids are sick and you need to get home, call a cab, call Uber, do what you got to do, and save the receipt for reimbursement. If you have a Vanpool application and you notice that it's asking for deposits, those have been waived. We are in the process of revamping our application, but if your application asks for deposits, you can disregard that. Also, for any new vans starting up, the first month is only $50 per person, and the primary driver is still free with 5 or more people. Pace has 2 different size vans available. The first one is going to be the minivan, which holds up to 7 people. And then the next is going to be the conversion van, and that holds either 10 or 14 people. The outside size of the van is the same, but the inside seat configuration is different to seat either 10 or 14. The vans are fully insured and include a fuel card, so when the driver needs gas, they can use it, and it gets billed directly to Pace. Maintenance is also included with the vehicle, so if the van needs service, an oil change, or some other type of service, when they take it in, that gets billed back to Pace as well. There are a lot of places to choose from to take the vehicle for service, and the drivers will be provided the information when they get their vans. If the van will be using the tollway in Illinois, I-Pass is included. There is a surcharge, though, if an Indiana I-Pass is requested. The vehicles also include emergency roadside service. So if you get a flat tire on your way home, all you got to do is make a phone call and they'll come and fix it, and then you can be on your way. Van washes are included and reimbursable. The driver can take the van to any convenient location, save the receipt for reimbursement, and send them in at the end of the month with their reports that they do. Further information on this is also provided to the drivers when they receive their vans. And I did go over the emergency ride home program, but just to remind you, that does not include overtime, but it does include emergencies. To qualify for a van, one end of the trip needs to be within our service area. Someone can live in Indiana, Kankakee, or Wisconsin and qualify for a van if they work within the region. Someone who lives in our service area but works outside of it would also qualify. The fares are based on each person's individual round-trip commute and the overall number of people in the vehicle. So if a van has 4 paying people coming from Indiana, that would not include the driver, and they're commuting 75 miles round-trip a day, each person would have a bill for $142 per month. Backup drivers would receive a $10 discount off of their fare. If someone is added to the van, everybody's bill would decrease to $130 per month, and so on. If the van starts in Indiana, for instance, with 3 people, including the driver, and it picks up 2 more people in Tinley Park, the people in Tinley Park would have a different round-trip commute. There's still 4 paying people in the van, but 2 of them would have the $142 monthly fare, and 2 would have a bill for $128 monthly fare. If someone is added to the van, each person's fare would drop accordingly. If there's a 14-passenger van and it's full, if you look at the costs, it comes up to $73 per person per month, all the way up to 90 miles round trip per day. That's actually less than what a bus pass or a train pass would be. The monthly cost of the program has been prorated to take into consideration holidays, vacations, and time off. So those monthly fares have been prorated, and it includes time off accordingly. The fares have been kept low and cover the cost of operating the program. Now, Pace has an excellent safety record with the Vanpool program, and we do have some driver requirements. All drivers and backup drivers must have a valid driver's license from Illinois, Wisconsin, or Indiana. They also have to have been driving for the last 3 years and at least 23 years of age. Pace does background checks on all of the drivers, and if someone has something on their record that comes up, for instance, if they have a DUI on their record, they may not qualify to drive, but they can still participate as a passenger. Drivers are also required to pass a drug test and a physical. Someone who does not pass may not qualify to drive, but they can still participate as a passenger. The final step is a 1-day safety orientation class at Pace. Drivers will receive important information on the program, such as what to do in case of an accident and what forms need to be filled out every month. Pace tries to coordinate the delivery of the van with the class so the drivers can take the vehicle home with them and start van pulling the next day. So where do I start? I just gave you a lot of information and it can be really hard to take it all in. PaceVanpool.com is a great place to begin. You can find detailed information on the programs along with the link to the rideshare tool, pacerideshare.com. You can use that for carpool and vanpool matches. If you have a group already together and you want an application, you can send us an email to vanpool@pacebus.com and we'll get one to you. As well, if there are any HR people watching this and you would like PACE to work with your team members, just send us an email and we'll reach out to you. Now, what do I need to start a vanpool? You'll need a primary driver, at least one backup driver, but up to 4. The more the better for the group, and a minimum of 4 people. If there are 5 people, then the primary driver is free, so it's better to have a van starting with 5, but you can start with 4. If you have your group together and everyone's completed their portion of the application, it all gets sent together as one packet to PACE. And once we get the application, then we start the driver approval process with the background checks. The next step after the background checks is going to be the drivers taking their drug tests and their physicals. And they'll receive, each driver and backup driver will receive a list of locations that they can choose from near where they live in their community. After they complete that and that's been approved, then the last step is going to be that one-day safety orientation class at PACE. The PACE Community Relations team is here to help. We have various services available for employers and employees. In the past, we've done a lot of on-site outreach, such as employee meetings, benefit fairs, and sometimes we even set up in break rooms so that employees can come up and get some information. We also bring out our vans, or have in the past, so that employees can actually see them and touch them. Right now, we're not able to do the in-person outreach, so we're doing a lot of online outreach, such as this recording, but one day we will be able to be in person again. In the meantime, we can do online presentations to any groups interested and provide electronic marketing materials or posters for companies. I'm now going to turn it over to Chris Rose to go over some of the commonly asked questions, and I wanted to thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Beth, and thank you to everyone for taking some time today to learn a little bit more about PACE's vanpool program. As Beth mentioned, we're going to go over some commonly asked questions. First question is, how long does the process take to start a vanpool? This can vary, but usually the startup process takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. It really depends on how quickly you get your paperwork into us, as well as completion of the defensive driving class for the primary and backup drivers. Does everyone need to work at the same place? No, you do not all need to work at the same place, but it does need to be convenient for everyone in the group. So as long as your work location is along the route of the van or is in and around the same area as its destination, then it should work for everyone. Can someone join an existing vanpool? Yes, if you're aware of an existing vanpool, you can reach out to that group directly to see if they're taking on any new members. If you're not aware of an existing vanpool but are in search of one, we encourage you to join our rideshare program, which you can access through our website. It's quick and easy to sign up and it's free to join. Once you've joined the program, you can then start viewing your vanpool matches. Is there a minimum commitment? Yes. There is an initial 3-month minimum commitment, and then after that, it is on a month-by-month basis. What if the driver is sick or goes on vacation? If your primary driver is ever sick or goes on vacation, your backup driver then takes over the operation of the van and is responsible for getting everyone to and from work safely. Are the vans accessible for mobility devices? Yes, both our mini and maxi larger conversion vans can come either ramp or lift equipped upon request if needed. For more information, or if you have any follow-up questions, please give us a call at area code 847-593-7665 option 3, or email us at vanpool@pacebus.com, or visit our website at www.pacevanpool.com. Again, we thank you for your time and we hope you have a wonderful day.